Hello friends, welcome back. Today I am putting another page in my October daily album. This is a little 2x2 pocket page. I think that every year or any season that I have decorated my space, I have documented it in a 2x2 inch pocket page pockets. I don't think I've ever done it anywhere else, so I'm just going to carry on tradition. Mostly I love it because I can fit a bunch of tiny little photos, so I take more kind of, I guess, detail photos of my space rather than an overall, because I don't necessarily go all out. It's just a few little bits and pieces here and there, so I take photos of those, and this way I can get them all into one spread, or at least one double-sided page protector. So I have got 6 2-inch photos, and then I've just gone into my stash of scraps and trimmed out a bunch of 2x2 squares, all sorts of different patterns and colors, and I don't tend to plan that out first. I find it easier to kind of mix and match if I've got the little 2-inch squares. So I really just picked out some papers that I thought coordinated with my photos. So it's mostly black and whites, oranges, a little bit of gold and yellow, and some lighter kind of colors in there. And then I just trim out my 2-inch squares and use those to work out where I want to put everything. And basically I just balanced out like light and dark and color and black and white, making sure that they kind of aren't two similar patterns together side by side, that they work well with the photos. It's really just a juggling act, and throughout this process you'll see me going back and forth a little bit anyway. I won't quite get it all in one go, but I get the basics of it and I put everything in the pockets. There's a lot of pulling in and out of pockets, but I find that less frustrating than attempting to keep everything in place while they slide around on top. Now comes the fun part, as I get to embellish, and I'm going to try and keep this a little bit simple. I decided the first little 2x2 there is a orange backed kind of pattern, and I wanted to do a tiny bit of stamping on top of that, but it's obviously kind of a heavy pattern. It's heavily colored. I need something to help that stand out on, so I'm just doing my stamping on some white scrap cardstock. I want to make like a little banner across there, so I used a couple of different Heidi Swap stamp sets. I didn't trim that out until after I'd stamped, so I knew how much space I could use or I needed. And then I'm just going to rough the top and bottom edge because this is going to span the entire 2-inch block, so I don't need to kind of rough up the outside of it. You can see it's just going to sit across my paper there, and then I can go ahead and adhere that down and carry on with the rest. So my next little card, or a few cards I guess, because I've got these puffy stickers from the Twilight collection. I've got a couple of different sheets of these, but these ones I guess more kind of like little vintage doll pumpkin shapes, and I haven't really used them anywhere else, so I'm going to pop them on here. That little banner one was perfectly sized, and then I love that wee pumpkin person on the other side. It did mean that I'm going to keep shuffling until I get things right. I had initially picked this, the little black kitten acetate. I've used that before in my album, and I really wanted to put it in the square. It's not double-sided though, and because it's transparent, you can see the other side, and so I initially thought maybe I would back it with some cardstock. You can see I've changed my plans. I'll change my plans as I go along. As the little cards keep evolving, so does where they go, I guess, is the best way to describe it. This one is vellum, and I'm adding a couple of little tiny word stickers, and I'm going to add them to each side. They're not perfectly aligned. I did try to find sentiments that were of a similar length, so you can see a little bit of the back of each of them on both sides, but because there's two, you don't kind of really notice the lighter, the backing of the other sticker. It kind of just looks like another layer, and so that works nicely. I forgot to mention the puffy stickers. I've put them on the outside of the page protector, and once I've finished filming and I am certain where everything is going to go, because you can see I'm I'm changing things around again, and that won't be the last time, I will go ahead and like glue them onto the page protector. The reason I don't put them on the inside is they can make those little pockets, like we're talking very little pockets. They're quite tight on a 2x2 as they are. It can make them kind of pucker and bend and not lay completely flat. So I actually prefer like bigger or thicker embellishments like puffy stickers. I prefer them to be on the outside of the pockets, and it just means adding a little bit of liquid adhesive and allowing those to dry. Or if you know where they're going to go and you don't mind it showing through to the other side, you can add a staple or stitching. In fact, you could probably put a tiny attacher stapler like inside the pocket. It might work like that if you didn't mind it showing through, but I don't mind. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to mine. I did add a couple of the little stars. There are 2 of each size there, so I can back those for my little vellum pocket. And here's where I give up and decide, no, I'm going to have that acetate. It doesn't matter that it's not the pattern's not on the back side of it. I'm going to have it as a transparent element. I really wanted a transparent element on there, and that's going to be it. I also decided that this yellow star paper wasn't really in keeping with the rest of it, so I pulled that out and moved my glitter paper up to the top with the little puffy stickers. Now those ones, I popped them on the glitter paper for now, but I will end up putting them on the outside once I've finished. And that meant I didn't love those 2 puffy stickers being directly underneath each other, so I swapped the little pumpkin person for, I don't know, the millionth time to put them on the left-hand side. The last card I've got here is another orange paper with some stars on it, and I'm going to use my stamp sets again just to replicate that same sort of look that I had on the front side, which is just to do a tiny little bit of stamping. So I have stamped, I guess it's like a label. It's more like a grid kind of shape, and I'm going to fill that up. So I've got the word bewitched, and I am mixing up my colors here. So I've got orange and black, and I was looking at little icons to kind of fill in here because there's lots. The birds are cute. I've already used the tiny jack-o'-lantern, but actually I'm going to go for the bats because they're really cute, and I've actually got a ton of bats you can see there on my wall here, so the bats worked nicely. Once that is dry, I did wait a little bit for it to dry, maybe not as long as I should have. I'm going to trim that down, but I'm trimming off kind of the excess sticky outy parts of that label stamp, and I'm going to rough up those edges again. This time I'm roughing up 3 because the label, the stamped piece that I've created is going to sit off to one side, so I can go ahead and adhere that down as well. Just basically it's where the bats and the words end, so that's going to sit in there, and that is this page protector all done. I'm going to give you some close-ups here. It's easier to show you on video than it is trying to photograph these. Very difficult because everything's in the pockets, but that's my page all done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Otherwise, I will see you guys really soon. Bye.